Hello, welcome back to Uma Casa Verde. I haven't done a video for a long time because it's summer, there isn't really much happening, we're not really doing any new projects. We're taking a little bit of a break from videos. But now that it's almost nearing the end of the summer, which, well, it is nowhere near finishing, but it is a canning season and I am making some preserves, and in today's video I wanted to show you one of the things that we make the most, and that is tomato sauce. So I have already made a few batches of tomato sauce. I just try to make them just in small batches, like 4 or 5 jars per time, simply because I don't have a big pot to make a big amount at the same time, and also we just don't have that many tomatoes always at the same time. I think it works well for me. It takes me very little time to prepare everything, just cut everything and put it on. This is not my recipe, this is Fabios' mom's recipe, which I think she makes already for years, but she doesn't normally can. At least she used to freeze it more, and then you can freeze this sauce as well, it's absolutely fine. I prefer canning because we just don't have enough space in the freezer for the amount of this sauce that we actually use, and we do use it a lot. It can be used for so many things, like any kind of Italian dish. I use it for lasagnas, for any pasta dishes, for meatballs, for so many things, and stews. We make a lot of like tomato and cabbage and bean stews, and for Mexican dishes. It's just so many uses for it, because we also eat quite a lot of international dishes, and there's a lot of things where you can use this sauce. So I'm going to show you what are the ingredients that I usually put in. First of all, don't be put off by this machine. This is not at all what you need to use, it's just that we have it. You can put it amount of time and it blends and it cooks and everything inside of it, but you don't need it at all. It's just that it is easier for me to use it because I can just put everything inside. It will cook everything. I can put the amount of time that I want it to cook, it will cook anything, and then I just blend it in the same pot and I don't have to use anything else. And it has a very good blender as well. But if you don't have one of these, then you can just use a normal pot, which is what we used last year, and then you just need the hand blender, because obviously you would want to blend the sauce after. As for ingredients, obviously the first and most important is tomatoes, and I choose some very ripe tomatoes. When you look up online the recipes for this kind of sauces, most people always suggest to use these Roma tomatoes, but I personally don't really like them because it has a very thick skin and it has quite a lot of seeds inside. I really prefer these Curacao de Boi, don't know how they are called in English, or just any kind of bigger tomatoes, because it has just more meat inside. But I have also made it with the cherry tomatoes, because last year we had so many cherry tomatoes, we just didn't know what to do with them, and they were just kept growing and growing, and I just had to make something with them, and I just did this sauce and it was perfectly fine. We used it all. It's not a big difference, it's just more the consistency, and obviously it takes a lot longer to cut every cherry tomato in half. Another thing about the tomatoes, most people will peel them, but because I just cannot be bothered peeling the tomatoes, I don't care if there's a bit of skin inside, because when you blend it, it's just not even noticeable that much. And but if you want to take the skin off, I really recommend to just put all of the tomatoes like this, whole tomatoes, in a big pot, boil them for like half an hour until the water is boiling. It doesn't need a long time, and then you put it in a ice cold water right after. And then the skin comes off pretty easily. Before you boil them, you have to cut the here like across inside, and then you just can peel it easily off. I could do that now because I have these bigger tomatoes, but last year I didn't because I had only the cherry tomatoes, so obviously I wouldn't be peeling those. Actually, this year I could be doing that with these, but since I already started doing it without peeling and it was fine, I'm just not going to do it. The next ingredient is green peppers. For this batch I will use 3, and I prefer to use the green ones for this, but you can also use the red ones if you want. And then I'm using some garlic. This is like 8 cloves, but these are very small cloves. This is just almost a whole little garlic. And then I have, this is not the yogurt, but these are onions. They're just frozen. Normally I would not use a frozen onion, but we just had a lot of onions that were almost going bad, and I just had to quickly cut them up and freeze them before they go completely bad. So I'm gonna use out all of these, but I think I would use about 3 medium-sized onions here, just like maybe 2 or 3 medium-sized, yes. And then we have salt. That really depends on how much you want. I use 1.5 tablespoons for this. And then we have olive oil. I use quite a lot as well. And then I put a little bit of sugar as well inside, but not always, whenever I remember. But for the tomato sauce you have to have a bit of a sweetness to it, some sugar, because otherwise it's quite acidic. This is just for the base of the tomato sauce. After that you can add some basil, you can add some other herbs if you want, you can add some spices, some chili, and that's it for the sauce. So now I only need to chop everything up, put it all cooking. I'm just going to chop everything, chop all the tomatoes, clean all the seeds out of this, cut it in pieces, just put all together inside, put it cooking for a while, and I put it for like 40 minutes, maybe almost an hour. And while it's cooking, I'm going to prepare the canning jar, sterilize them, clean them, and get them ready for the sauce. Now we have this almost full, as you can see, but you can really press them down. And now I'm gonna cut the peppers. So now that I have my jars, I got 5. I don't think there will be more than 5 necessary. I washed them with warm water and soap, and well, not soap, the dish soap, and I have my lids as well. And now I'm going to sterilize it in a quick way. I have boiled some water, and I'm just going to pour. It's still boiling hot. It just finished. And then I'm going to pour over the lids as well. The rest. And and that's what I did last year, and it worked fine to sterilize. We didn't have any problems. And now I'm just going to take a towel to just kind of rinse the hot water in the jar and carefully get it out. And that, again, people might disagree with me that is too risky to get some mold growing after, but it didn't happen last year with me, and that's what my mom always says she's doing, so, and she's been doing this for years, so, and I obviously will take, if it's easier, if it's quicker, I'm gonna do it. So our jars are ready, and now the sauce has finished cooking. I'm just gonna put it on blending, and then I'm gonna fill the jars, and that's it. Let me show you how it looks like. And now I'm going to use this thing to fill the jars. And I have a feeling that there is not enough jars actually in them, because the sauce, this looks a lot fuller than usual. If you want it without any bits at all, because obviously it blends most of it, but there are a few bits inside, which I don't mind because I only use it in foods already. I don't use it like a ketchup or anything like that, so I don't mind some bits inside. But if you want, you can strain it as well after, and you can get all those skins and things out like that. Don't know why, but this came out very liquidy. It's usually a lot thicker than this. Maybe the tomatoes are more watery this time, I don't know. And there's only a little bit left, and I'm just not going to can it. I'm just going to put it in a jar and straight in the fridge. The most controversial part of this is that I'm just going to close it, and I'm not going to boil it anymore after. The idea is, and I'm going to turn it upside down. The idea is that if you are canning something that has been cooking for a while and you put it inside still really boiling hot, that when you close it and turn it upside down, with the process of getting cooler, the sauce, it will create a vacuum in the jar, and that's what you want, really. That is why you boil it, because you want to create the vacuum. But if the sauce is already hot, oh, this lid doesn't fit. If the sauce is already hot, you don't really need it to be boiled again. What you need to make sure is that you have good lids that actually fit the jars, because if a lid is not fitting the jar correctly, even though it feels like you close it, the sauce is going to come out. And if that happens, then obviously there is no vacuum. And that's done. That is how I do my sauces. As I'm saying, this is definitely not the way most people do. It has worked for me, and I'm going to take it if it's easier, if it doesn't require big pots and hours of standing and cooking the jars 3 times, then I'm going to do it. It works for us, and I hope you can try it out, and hope it works for you as well. I have already made quite a few jars before, and the other ones that I made were with basil. And these are just the simple ones. This one came out thinner, as I was saying. But it doesn't really matter to me. Sometimes it comes out thinner, sometimes it comes out thicker. And yeah, and now I'm going to leave it like this until tomorrow, until it properly gets cold. That's all my cooking video today. Hope you enjoyed this different kind of video. Hope it's useful for you, because this is a tomato season. I know a lot of you have a lot of tomatoes growing, and this is just a way to use them all, and it really is useful during the rest of the year to make all the kind of dishes that is needing tomato sauce. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you in the next video. Bye!